Hey everyone, and welcome back to our channel, where we explore the timeless wisdom hidden in simple stories. Today we're diving into a tale you've probably heard before, but we're going to look at it in a whole new light. It's the story of The Fox and the Grapes. Now stick with me because this isn't just a children's story. It's a powerful mirror that reflects a very common, very human behavior that you might see in yourself, in your friends, or even at your workplace every single day. So let's set the scene. Imagine a hot, gisty afternoon. A clever fox is trotting through the woods, his stomach rumbling. He hasn't eaten all day, and he's starting to get a little desperate. He's sniffing the air, his sharp eyes scanning everything around him, searching for a tasty meal. Suddenly he stops. His nose twitches. He looks up, and his eyes widen. There, hanging high above him from a thick vine, is the most beautiful bunch of grapes he has ever seen. They're a deep, rich purple, plump, and glistening in the afternoon sun. They look so juicy, so sweet, they seem ready to burst right off the stem. Just looking at them makes the fox's mouth water. He can almost taste the sweet, cool juice trickling down his throat, quenching his thirst and satisfying his hunger. This is it. This is exactly what he's been looking for. There's just one problem. The grapes are high up, dangling from a branch that's well out of his normal reach. But our fox is not one to be easily discouraged. He's a fox, after all, known for his cunning and his persistence. He backs up a little, crouches down, and with a powerful push from his hind legs, he leaps into the air. He stretches his body, his paws reaching, his eyes fixed on the prize. But he misses, not even close. The grapes sway tauntingly, far above his outstretched claws. Does he give up? Not yet. He thinks, okay, that was just a warm-up. I need a better strategy. He walks back a good distance, taking a moment to size up the challenge again. He eyes the distance, calculates the trajectory. This time he'll get a running start. He takes a deep breath, and then he charges forward, kicking up dust as he sprints toward the tree. At the last second, he launches himself into the air with all his might. He soars higher this time, feeling a brief moment of hope. He's closer, so much closer. His claws brush against a leaf, but the grapes themselves remain just out of his grasp. He tumbles back to the ground, landing in a heap with a soft thud. He's a little winded now and a bit frustrated. He shakes the dust from his fur and looks up at the grapes again. They seem to be mocking him, shimmering in the sunlight as if to say, "You can't have us." But the fox is stubborn. He tries again. And again, and again. He tries a standing jump, a running jump, a twisting, acrobatic leap. Each time, he puts every ounce of his energy into the effort. Each time he falls short. The sun begins to dip lower in the sky, and the fox is exhausted. His muscles ache, he's covered in dirt, and his throat is even drier than before. He's panting heavily, his pride more than a little wounded. Finally, he collapses at the base of the tree, defeated. He lies there for a long time, just staring up at the grapes. But now his expression has changed. The longing is gone, the determination has vanished. In its place is a look of pure disgust. He gets to his feet, brushes himself off with an air of indignation, and sniffs loudly. "What a fool I am," he says to himself, his voice dripping with scorn. "Here I am, wearing myself out, trying to get a bunch of sour grapes. They're probably terrible anyway. Not even worth a second glance." And with his nose held high in the air, he turns his back on the beautiful, ripe grapes and walks away, pretending he never wanted them in the first place. Now, let's stop and think about this. What really happened here? Did the grapes suddenly turn sour? Of course not. They were the same delicious-looking grapes they were from the very beginning. What changed was the fox's attitude. When he couldn't get what he wanted, he didn't just accept his failure. Instead, he completely changed his perception of the goal itself. He belittled the grapes, calling them sour, to protect his own ego. It was easier to pretend the prize wasn't worth having than to admit he simply couldn't reach it. This, my friends, is the origin of the phrase, sour grapes. It's a psychological defense mechanism, and we see it everywhere. Have you ever known someone who applied for a job, didn't get it, and then said, "Oh well, I didn't really want to work there anyway"? The company has a terrible culture, and the pay was probably bad. Or someone who gets rejected by a person they asked out and then immediately starts pointing out all their flaws, saying, "I dodged a bullet there." That's the fox talking. It's the human tendency to devalue something we desire but cannot have. We do it to soothe the sting of rejection and failure. It has a way of reframing the narrative so we come out looking like the one in control, the one who made a choice rather than the one who failed. Think about it in a bigger context. People might dismiss wealth by saying, money can't buy happiness after failing to achieve financial success. They might criticize a fit person by saying they must spend all day in the gym and have no life because they struggle with their own fitness goals. This is sour grapes on a societal level. It is a way of making ourselves feel better about our own circumstances by belittling the achievements or possessions of others. The core of the issue is an inability to face our own limitations or failures head on. It's easier to tear something down than to admit we wanted it and couldn't get it. Admitting failure requires vulnerability. It requires us to say, I tried my best and it wasn't good enough. Or, I'm not there yet, but I'll keep trying. Blaming the grapes, on the other hand, requires nothing but a little bit of pride and a whole lot of self-deception. So, how do we avoid falling into the fox's trap? The first step is self-awareness. The next time you find yourself harshly criticizing something you secretly wanted, take a moment to pause. Ask yourself, are these grapes really sour, or am I just upset that I can't reach them? Honesty with yourself is the key. It's okay to be disappointed. It's okay to fail. Failure is not the end of the world. In fact, it's often an essential part of the journey to success. Instead of devaluing the goal, we can learn from the experience. The fox could have thought, okay, jumping isn't working. Maybe I can find a stick, or build a ramp, or come back tomorrow with a ladder. Instead of walking away in scorn, he could have walked away with a new plan. By acknowledging our desire and our failure without resorting to bitterness, we open ourselves up to growth. We can respect the goal, respect the success of others who have achieved it, and use our own shortcomings as motivation to improve. We can choose to be the person who says, wow, those grapes look amazing. I couldn't get them today, but I'm going to figure out how to get better at jumping. That mindset, one of resilience and honest self-assessment, is infinitely more powerful than the fragile ego of the fox. So the next time you face a setback, remember the fox. Don't let your disappointment turn your grapes sour. Acknowledge the sweetness of the goal, accept the temporary failure, and focus your energy on growing taller, jumping higher, and trying again. That's where true strength and wisdom lie. Thanks so much for watching today. If this story resonated with you, hit that like button and subscribe for more insights into the stories that shape our lives. Let me know in the comments if you've ever caught yourself or someone else having a sour grapes moment. I'd love to hear your stories. Until next time, stay curious and keep growing.